You've done what you were supposed to do. Degree, career, promotions. The income has been there for years. Six figures, or close enough that it shouldn't be a concern. Then one afternoon you sit across from a financial advisor. Not in a panic, just a routine review. They pull up the accounts, they look at the numbers. Then they look at you with an expression you weren't expecting. Not alarm, something quieter than that. A kind of careful neutrality that tells you the number on the screen isn't where it should be. Not dramatically, just quietly short of 2 decades of solid income. And right there, the assumption you'd been operating on, that earning well meant you were handling it, starts to loosen. That moment happens more than most people realize. Hi, I'm Afsi. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm someone who became deeply interested in why intelligent, high-earning people still reach retirement underprepared. I've spent years researching the psychology and mathematics behind that gap. And that's what we unpack here. And understanding why it happens is what this video is about. The reality check. According to LIMRA, nearly 30% of households earning above $100,000 annually are not on track for retirement. The Employee Benefit Research Institute found that income level alone is a consistently poor predictor of retirement readiness. Here is what that looks like translated into real numbers. A household earning $150,000 and saving 5% contributes $7,500 annually. At 7% average growth over 20 years, that produces approximately $307,000. At a 4% withdrawal rate, that is $12,280 per year, just over $1,000 per month. From a portfolio built on a $150,000 income. Consider someone like Carol, retired at 66 after a stable professional career, earned well through her 40s and 50s, arrived at retirement with $96,000 saved. Her Social Security benefit covers the fixed expenses. The savings cover almost nothing beyond that. One unexpected medical bill last year consumed 4 months of her withdrawal budget. She is not in poverty. She has no margin. That outcome was not built by bad decisions. It was built by a savings rate that never kept pace with an income that kept growing. So how does this happen consistently, specifically to people who earn well? The 3 core behavioral failures. Failure number 1, the illusion of margin. High earners carry a specific psychological disadvantage. The income always feels like it creates enough room. There is money remaining after bills, after restaurants, after the vacation. It does not feel like scarcity, so it never triggers the behavior that scarcity naturally produces. Lower earners who build wealth do it under constraint. Every dollar gets assigned because there is no comfortable surplus to absorb waste. High earners often never develop that discipline because the income level made it feel unnecessary. The math is direct. A household at $80,000 saving 18% contributes $14,400 annually. A household at $160,000 saving 7% contributes $11,200 annually. The higher income produces a smaller absolute contribution because the savings rate was never treated as seriously as the paycheck suggested it should be. Earning well creates the quiet assumption that the retirement problem is already being handled. In most cases, it is not. Failure number 2, the drift. This failure is slower and harder to see while it is happening. The apartment becomes a house. The car gets replaced. Private school enters the conversation. The annual trip becomes a baseline expectation rather than an exception. None of it is unreasonable individually. Combined, it absorbs income at roughly the same rate income grows. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. Each new standard becomes the new normal. The person earning $180,000 at 45 feels financially similar to how they felt at $90,000 at 35, because the expenditure structure quietly expanded to match. The compound effect is that contribution rates stay flat, while the retirement lifestyle being planned for becomes more expensive. A 6% contribution set at 35 is still 6% at 48. Only now the life it needs to sustain in retirement costs significantly more than it did when that rate was chosen. The drift is not dramatic. That is precisely what makes it dangerous. Failure number 3, the false safety. High earners hold one additional belief that lower earners rarely carry, that future income will correct present undersaving. The business will produce an exit. The equity will vest. The next promotion closes the gap. These are not irrational assumptions. Some come true, but they function as substitutes for structured saving. And substitutes carry execution risk that a consistent contribution rate does not. Compounding does not accommodate income level. A dollar not contributed at 38 is not recoverable at 54. The most productive portion of the compounding curve, the early years, cannot be extended because someone planned to catch up later. And the window available at 50 does not produce the same result as the window that existed at 35, regardless of how aggressively it is used. The income creates what is possible. The timeline determines what is available. This is not a story about carelessness. Most high earners who arrive at retirement underprepared were not reckless. They were busy. Every decision looked reasonable. The accumulated outcome was not. The failure is structural, not moral. Income grew. The savings system never grew with it. The data is clear. Savings rate beats income every time. A 20% rate on $85,000 outperforms a 7% rate on $200,000 over 25 years by several $100,000. How deliberately you move forward from here matters more than what the account says today. Income was never the variable that needed to increase. The intention behind it was, number 1, fix the rate. If you earn above $100,000 and contribute below 15%, that is the only problem that matters right now. Not fund selection, not timing, the rate. This month, move to 15%. If that is a stretch, go to 12% and schedule the next increase in 90 days. Max your 401k, $7,500 catch up at 50. One rule for every raise, 50% goes to retirement before it touches spending. Number 2, audit the spending. Pull 3 months of statements. Find one category where a 20% cut changes nothing about your actual quality of life. The contrast, age 46. Income, $155,000. Savings, $180,000. 19 years to go. Without change. Portfolio at 65, $520,000. Monthly income, $4,100. Lifestyle costs, $8,000. Gap is permanent. With change, portfolio at 65, $1,400,000. Monthly income, $7,000. Lifestyle maintained. Same person, same 19 years, different behavior. The close high income is an advantage. It is not a retirement plan. Retirement wealth is rarely lost to bad investments. It drifts away into lifestyle creep, a flat contribution rate, and a future self who is always going to sort it out. That is reversible, but only with a structural decision made now. The income was always sufficient. The question is whether the system around it was ever built to keep any of it.